what I was going to do is give a talk at this conference, just a short talk about, how we met and the work that we've done together and our relationship. And
you ask the question and I'll tell you.
Okay. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the highlights of our time together, things that really stand out to you, turning points or...
Well, the overall thing is the feelings that, became like a standard, issue between us. Your interest and all these things that you call it compassionate interview. This was something that you really, the word compassion stands out in my interaction with you, because I know that you were really interested, not in as much in the details as, of course, as we discussed it this morning about the minutiae, but by the fact that that you wanted to really, that I knew that you felt, that you understand me not as strictly a interviewer, but as a person. Mm-hmm. And I think this has been from the very beginning up to this very day. That's how I feel about it. And I think this is if there's any success to our story, our interaction, I think this was the basis for it, I think.
That's lovely. That's lovely. I like the way you talk about understanding as a person as opposed to just someone who you're interviewing.
Because now, in hindsight, you never asked me what the size of my bedroom when I was 10 years old.
I don't care what size it was. I care about how you felt and what your experiences were.
Yeah, that's right.
I love your stories, and I hope that you know that.
Yes, but of course, I know I'm very much pleased that you do. I'm honored by it, and but in my case, I don't know that my stories are that much. They are different but they're not different in essence. The essence of it that you so very ably, elicited from me is the suffering and the tenor of the happenings, what was happening, but it was one venue. There are some similar stories that you've heard from other people, and they were basically trying to say the same things. Weren't they? Didn't they?
They were, but there's something about, I think of it as what happens between us.
Oh yeah,
that makes it different. And so you might tell me the same story somebody else told me, but first you tell it from your perspective, and we interact about it, and it becomes a very different story because of our interaction.
That's exactly, I think I didn't articulate it earlier, but that's exactly. When I was telling to you, and I think I mentioned on many occasions before, that I didn't think that I was talking to an interviewer. I was talking to you while you were interviewing to me. To me, I was not aware that I'm being interviewed. I was talking to a person who was very close to me, and I know that she was close to me, and I opened up. Sometimes, in things that some very private things that you would not talk to just anybody, but you talk to a special person. You were the special person in that interview.
Yes, I felt that. I felt that from you.
So that's why I understand. That's what you're saying, that you loved my story, because they were genuine.
Yeah, you take it out if you want.
They were genuine, and they were they're spoken genuinely and they were received genuinely.
It's still, oh, because you were holding it, I think.
Okay, that's,
It's
okay, let
making
me
noise.
put it back on this.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that did it. All right, good. I love what you have to say. I love our time together. I do, and I love what we've been able to do together, to write, to think about, to experience together, to enjoy our time together. It's just been a very fulfilling relationship to me.
You know, yesterday, and I was listening to the Barbara Bush pieces, and there was a story on CNN, I believe. Larry King was interviewing her, and there was something about this interview that had the same air
Oh, that's
that,
nice.
that you and me had. He was really asking her. He wasn't trying to put her on a spot. It was just coming out of him and of her, so natural. She was talking about things. She was, for example, at one point she said, "Oh, I you know, I was looking at television, and they would talk about different personalities, and it just occurred to me, all these personalities, I knew them. I was, I was touching them. I was in the same room with them. Okay, except for Arafat, okay. And I could see there was such a smooth interview. And I was thinking, that's what an interview, that's the value of it.
It is,
Yes.
yeah. So when it's going well, it's just a good conversation.
Exactly what it is. The interview, I think, in a way, sometimes is a misnomer.
It is.
Because you enter and view, if you want to look at parse this word, it's maybe a misnomer, because it's a compassionate interview. When you put this other word to
Where you're not just talking and asking and answering questions, but you're feeling with each other, you're empathizing with each other.
Yeah. And another thing that, of course, I said, this was a hallmark, one of the hallmarks of our interaction, that I'm not going to put a percentage of it, but many of the things that I told you at that time, when I was telling you about those, they occurred to me for the first time in years and years. I used the word elicit again and again, but what you did, you just pulled it out of me,
And how did I do that?
You did, I don't know. You did, I guess, because of your interest. I think there was, of course, academic interest in you always the time, because you were studying this whole area. But other than the academic interest, was that personal factor. And I think the mixture of the amalgam of the two was the result of the thing. So.
Well, and then we just kept getting closer and closer, I felt.
That's right, that's right.